and welcome back to OATS UNCUT. We are Orator Academy Talks, unscripted, unfiltered, raw, organic, honest conversations. Why? Because there is so much to talk about, so much to share, so much to hear, and so much to learn from. I believe and I strongly actually stand by the thought that people come into your life with some purpose and some mission. And I honor that purpose and mission, no matter what relationship you meet them with or cultivate with them. I have such a person in the room today with me who I'd love to introduce. This was unexpected. I never thought this would happen, but this is happening. Life is about possibilities things happening that you never thought were possible. I'd like to invite with much love a dear friend, Mintie. Mintie, welcome to OATS UNCUT.
Thank you so much. And as you said, life brings us to places and meet people we never expected. So Vineeta and I have been around for quite a while. And my name is Mintie-Inder-Maraj. I'm a registered nurse for over 35 years. I migrated to this country over 35 years. And how did we meet? I met Vineeta because I was going to do a presentation. And I was looking for someone to help me improve my public speaking skills. And that was a diamond in my life.
Aww.
That shines permanently. I cannot even tell you how bright it shines. Everything and every time I have learned so much. So we have come a long way, and I ended up Googling and looking, and I saw the name Vineeta. Vineeta, that name, is very familiar to me, and I thought it was someone I knew because I'm from Guyana, South America, and I lived, my next door neighbor, her daughter's name was Vineeta.
Aww.
So actually I was very excited, and I said, wow, Vineeta. So I contacted Vineeta only to realize it wasn't
different
Vineeta that I knew. Different Vineeta. So it was very interesting.
You know, that's what I love about life. The unique serendipity, how things just happen. We were meant to meet.
Yes.
And you thought I was a different Vineeta. And to your good luck, turned out to be a different Vineeta. But I remember that first call so clearly in my mind, because she went on the website and she saw all the talk about me working with younger children, etc., etc. And then she said to me, I realized from your website that you work a lot with children. If you have the patience to work with children, I think you can work with me too. That's what you said to me.
I don't even remember.
That's what you said to me, and I actually often quote that to people. And the other thing that I always very fondly remember, and I've actually shared with a lot of my other students, is that when you presented your script that you were working on, and there was this 5 pages on life of Lisa, the telemetry nurse, and I was getting paid for my time, by the way, but even then I was losing my patience reading through those 5 pages. And I said to Mintie, you're paying me for my time. Even I don't have the patience to go through this. How do you expect the audience to listen to 5 pages about Lisa's life, who's a telemetry nurse, and how stressful it is? And what did we do with it?
We cut it down to the meat and potatoes.
And we became rappers. You rapped to it.
Oh, yes. I did rap to it. That presentation is so long ago, I don't even recall it anymore.
No, because I just remember it very fondly and very clearly in my mind, because I've not done that with anybody else yet. I think, and also I feel that you allowed me the freedom to play with it. And I was very happy that you were open to experimenting. When I said, listen, can I do this with it? And you said, okay, show me what, and maybe it will work for us. And I did. And it was cut short to 1 page. We didn't lose anything. Like you said, it was brought down to meat and potatoes, to the essentials, very succinct. And you got the rhythm as you delivered it, because you practiced in class with me. And I believe you got a standing ovation.
I certainly did. And since then, I have learned so much. But as a nurse, you're so fit into a framework. There is opportunities for creativity, but creativity in how you care for people.
True.
That's where the artistry comes. But the artistry for me, I don't think I have any sense of creativity and innovativeness. I have developed over time, and you have made a significant impact
Thank you.
in me being creative in what I do. And it takes me a while to get there.
But you are driven yourself. You are pretty passionate about this, because when you have had that first conversation with me, you did say that you had worked with somebody else in the past, but you couldn't find them. So it was my lucky day that
Yes.
Google did not work for you, but it worked for me.
It worked for you, and it was a perfect match, because I had a person but she was in Manhattan, and I didn't like the commute with the train. I'm not a train commuter. For different reasons. I was almost robbed on the train once, so left a traumatic experience. So I'm not a train person. So she was there, but then I couldn't find her after that. And like you, she wanted me to do something for her, but I didn't volunteer at that time. And I felt terrible, but I wasn't ready for it.
But I'm glad that you allowed me.
I thought about it for a long time.
You did?
I did. And I said, I'm going to do something I've never done.
So what does that tell us, right? Doing things that we feel slightly uncomfortable and uncertain about, but they're not really about anybody else. It's about me taking chances on myself. That's what you did that day.
Yes, I did. And I really like to impart and share what I have, but I want to share it in a way that is impactful and influential, that you leave with something. And that's what you help me, and you constantly and continuously work with me to accomplish. So I appreciate that.
Just doing my job, Minty. But now I think you must share with the audience, how does communication come into play in your profession? So, okay, you came to me because you had a presentation to give, but on a day-to-day basis, I'm sure you are particular and mindful of how you communicate. How does it work for you in your profession?
Communication is extremely important. Everything I do involves communication. It involves my tone. It involves my body language. It involves the message I send. And it involves what I expect or what comes back to me. So it plays, if not 100% of what I do involves communication. And you have to modify it depending on who the receiver is. So if I'm speaking to a patient, I have to change my style. I have to change the words I choose. If I'm speaking to a leader, I have to, as well as observe and say what I want to say in a way that is not offensive but professional. If I speak to my peers, it's very different. It can be colloquial. I can break it down. I can get hard to the truth and say exactly what I want to say. So it plays a key role. And because I come from a different country, the perception by many is that my communication is not clear. Even though I come from an English-speaking country.
I think the slight way of speaking, slight accent, but I've never had problem understanding you. I've never felt, till you said, I started looking for the ambiguities in your delivery, but I didn't really find much. Maybe because being ethnic myself, I am used to different accents, and I come from India where there are so many different languages. A person from northern part of India will speak differently from a person in the southern part of India. So there is already a difference in culture, demeanor, diction, and mannerisms as you speak. So I guess I'm used to it. So I'm a little more patient when it comes to understanding what the other person is saying to me. But you brought a very valid point, which is that when you said you speak to serve the receiver on the other side, who is receiving what you are sharing. That is what people don't understand sometimes. People think it's all about me, me, me. I am speaking, in the sense they, as a speaker, they feel that it's about them, it's about the content that they're delivering, and they must do a great job. They forget to be mindful of that very essential piece is the person on the other end, the receiver. So when I do these podcasts too, and I tell the people, I said, imagine the audience on the other side of the lens. Because yes, we are having this conversation, but how is it being received on the other side is what we have to be mindful of. So when you stood on that stage, when I thought of creating that rap song out of those 5 pages, my intention was that in that very intense piece that you were giving to them, there should be some element of levity and ease and humor, so that it's people don't go out heavy, or people don't feel, oh my God, I don't need to be reminded. I already know how hard the life of a telemetry nurse is. So when will this be over? I can't take this anymore. It's just too heavy. It's making me more anxious and stressed. But you lighten up the tone, and it's received very well. People will actually absorb your message better because they've heard you deliver it in a lighter manner that they could digest. So that was a very, very valid point.
Yeah, the point, what you have taught me is that's so much of the content, as you said, that is important. The content is there for a purpose, but it's what my vision and mission is. And you have taught me to make that impact by delivering a message that the receiver takes, not the whole heaviness of the content. And that is the power in the presentation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because the thing is, if you are doing a presentation for 15-20 minutes, okay, you have worked very hard to put together, you want to bring value content to your audience. Very, very important. Yes. But the audience's attention span is also limited. All of us, we don't have that attention span anymore. You will deliver 15 minutes. If they can remember even 5 minutes of your content, it's a win-win. Now, how do you make that happen? That's why you gauge the audience by looking at them, and that's why the eye contact comes into play. The eye contact is not because I said so. The eye contact is because you want to look at the people. You look at them, they look back at you. If you're not looking at them, they will not care to look at you either. So they look back at you, and then you're able to gauge what's going on. Okay, what did I say that amused them? What did I say that they seem to like? What did I say that I don't think they got me? Maybe I need to reiterate and expand upon it, because ultimately my presentation is to serve them. Yes, to make me look good also, but hopefully they'll remember and take away something out of it. So to your point, when you said, what's your mission and what are you passionate about? Yes, because when you feel that, it comes through in your delivery.
That is quite true. You have to have that connection. And that is the part that I struggle with, or I am challenged with. I don't want to say struggle. I challenge with that. Because it takes me a while to get that connection between myself and what I want to deliver. And sometimes it delays the process. But maybe the delay is a good thing. Because more often I'm not invited, like I know I'm going to do a presentation next year. The person called me, I have a presentation coming up. And she called me because of a presentation I did before. So she called me like 2 weeks ago. And I said yes. And then after I said yes, I said, why did I say yes? I shouldn't have said, because I'm stressing myself. I'm sleeping every night on this thing. What am I going to do? Where am I going to start? How am I going to get this? And then I said, I'm going to meet with you. So, you have to be part of it. So that's the challenge that I face.
And also because you bring that challenge to you, you take it as a challenge because you want to make sure that you are giving value to whoever is seeking your guidance.
Yes, and it's nurses. So my mission is to help nurses to understand and take care of themselves in order to care for other people. So, the message that I can't serve from an empty cup.
Yes.
That message still goes. Your cup has to be full before you can serve anyone.
That is a very important reminder.
Yes.
I think we all forget it sometimes. I forget it too. And I've had people tell me and remind me, Vineeta, your cup has to be full before you serve anybody else.
Because I am a giver. We are in a giving profession.
Yeah.
You find yourself, and I give in many ways. I give in many ways because because of my experience, people look up to me. My position, people do look up to you to do different things. So I give in many ways. So I have to make sure my cup is full. So the minute I was able to make that shift, my perspective in life has changed.
That is amazing. I think that also builds legacy, right? Because when you are working with people who are looking up to you, so then your burden of responsibility kind of becomes bigger, because now you want to live up to their expectations of you. But then their mission becomes your mission. Your passion is organic and real. So you completely invest yourself in their project for that moment. And that adds a lot of value going forward. So that then builds your legacy too. So it's a win-win. It's in many ways.
Yes, it's a win-win in many ways. But I've learned also to set boundaries for myself. Mm-hmm. So I've learned the word no.
Congratulations. I preach it, but I'm still struggling with it sometimes.
Well, you can't be perfect.
Yeah.
But I think you can do that very well. You can do that very well.
Yeah, I think I'm bringing myself to that point where I can absolutely, without any confusion in my head, say, no, I don't think I can help you with this, or no, I don't think I can do it. I'm able to say no very clearly when it's about me and my skills. So if somebody comes to me and says, Vineeta, can you help me with this? And if in my mind I feel that I'm not qualified or skilled enough, I don't hesitate. I will not play with their time, their money, or my time also. And I'll tell them, no, I don't think so. Like I've told you so many times. I mean, I think I've mentioned to you a little while ago that somebody brought their child to me with a slight speech impediment, and the mother told me, and that boy is now in college, and they brought to me and they said, well, he has a slight speech impediment. And I said to the mother, I said, I'm not a speech pathologist. I don't want to mislead you. I'm a communications coach. I teach people how to speak. So she said, we've tried so many other things. This can't hurt. We'll give it a shot. So at least it was full disclosure, full honesty. And I'm glad to say that I was able to help the child a little bit, because since my attachment with yoga, and we were talking about this earlier too, that the breath work, that's immensely anchoring in terms of our energy and confidence, and then you deliver better. So I was able to help that student, and I hope he's doing great. He's in college.
He will do great. I think he will do great because you give him the skills that no one else thought of giving him. Yeah. So he can manage his own impediment and overcome it. Oftentimes it's fear.
It's fear.
Because you never know, as you said, expectation. Everyone expects perfection.
Yeah.
They have no patience or tolerance for imperfection.
Yeah.
And the world is not perfect.
Exactly. And sometimes I think we expect that from ourselves.
That is quite true, because I have the same thing. I have very high expectations of myself, and that can become a barrier to my own innovation and creation.
That is so true.
Yes.
When I started recording these videos, it was a little uncomfortable because I'm looking at myself, and if I look at myself, then I'll find something wrong, either with my hair, with my outfit, something is out of place. So I would not be able to save either. I would keep deleting. No, I don't like it. So I had this conversation and this is not last year, this is probably 10 years ago, when actually the social media team had asked me for a few selfie videos that they could publish on my social media. And I couldn't. I struggled. And I was having this conversation with another friend of mine, and she said, why can't you record these videos? I said, because I don't like anything that I have recorded so far. For a 1 minute reel, I did 50 takes. So she said, that's ridiculous. And she said, what's holding you back? Perfection? And that has stayed in my mind forever. What was holding me back? The pursuit of perfection. Like you said, even there is nothing perfect. There's nothing perfect. There's no perfection. Who defines perfection? What defines perfection?
Right.
So why can't we just embrace the fact that we are perfectly imperfect?
That is quite true. And it's very hard to embrace that concept.
Yeah.
It's very hard to embrace that concept because the world has an expectation of you. They have a picture framed in their mind of you. And often there is malalignment there. So, and it's reflected in many ways. And you that affects you and how well you do and how you see yourself. But it can be learned. Because I don't like to be on video. I don't like to be on the video. When I'm in a meeting, I don't turn my camera on.
Is it? Why?
Yeah. I just feel uncomfortable. I don't feel like I look well enough. I don't feel that I meet that expectation. Then I compare myself to others. They look so well, so beautiful on the screen. What did they do? So I don't turn my camera on.
Okay, let me address this right now. I need to address this right now. First of all, it's not acceptable if you're not turning your camera on. And others have. No, not acceptable. Second thing, what I do is, how I got comfortable initially, is that I don't look at myself once I'm on camera. This is a conversation, so I'm looking at the other person on the screen. I am not looking at myself at all. When you do that, you are releasing yourself from that burden. Now you're focusing on other people like you should. Because you are now communicating. Actually, you're looking at the other person and having a conversation like this. Then I'm not looking at myself right now, I'm looking at you on the screen. So then, if I see any flaws, I'll see your flaws, not mine.
That's a good way to look at it. I don't know, I'm going to try it the next time.
We are very, very unfair to ourselves.
I am unfair, very critical of
not
myself.
Acceptable, not acceptable. Because see how poised, how beautifully she's sitting right now. And you're talking beautifully. And that's what I had felt the first time I met you on camera, because this is the first time we're meeting face to face.
Yeah, I know.
We've only worked via FaceTime.
Virtually. We're all virtual.
And the first time I spoke with you, I felt that you were quite articulate. And I was wondering, how do I help her? What do I help her with? So I took the content as my challenge. So I'm going to really clean up the content. And I gave you a little taste of your own personality that you were hiding, that you were able to wrap. And so I was very grateful that you trusted me and you allowed me to loosen you up a little bit. But I felt the first time that you spoke very well, you were very poised, but you thought less of yourself. We almost do that. All of us do that.
I agree with you. I mean, the rapping thing, I now remember my friend called me and said, I never thought somebody would have gone on stage and rap. And the conference of itself is professional. So it was well received by the audience, and I was a little teased by it, but it wasn't very long. I still kept it professional as I regrouped back with it. But you have made a very big difference in my life, and I think I had a lot to do. I had a lot of polishing to do, and I wanted to be better. I wanted to be a speaker. My vision is to be a great public speaker, sending a very important message for nurses at all levels.
How did you get into this profession? Let's talk about your profession.
My first job out of high school, I graduated from high school at 16 years old. So I had a while. I couldn't be in nursing until I was 18. So I had to wait. My first job was a secretarial job, clerical job in a courthouse, and I left before my first paycheck. I left in the middle and came away. I didn't even wait for my paycheck. I left and I came away. So I stayed home and I was doing housework with my grandmother, cooking and cleaning at home until I was 18, and then I went to nursing school. I wanted to be a nurse because I grew up with my grandmother. My mom is an only child, and I grew up with my grandmother because my mom went and lived on her own and my grandmother just took her. They were living in the same yard. So,
wow.
And then I kind of cared. I'm the eldest, so I kind of cared for everyone that came after. So I really enjoyed that nurturing and giving. I wanted to be in that. So that's what drew me to nursing. And nursing, I have no regrets. I would do it all over again. It has its challenges. So I was a nurse in Guyana before I came here.
Wow.
Yes. And then in 1990, I migrated here because I wanted to have a higher level of education, which I couldn't have achieved there. So I'm very proud of myself to make that sacrifice to get this far.
Wow. Any stories that of your so many years of nursing that stick out or warm your heart when you think about them?
Well, I have had many stories. I've had so many stories. Some I can remember and I can't remember. I had a patient, he was 96 years old. And he went to park, he was driving. He hit, I don't know what happened. He told me that he lost control of the vehicle and he had an accident. And at 2 o'clock, because I worked the night shift, at 2 o'clock in the morning, he was up. So I said, what are you up for? He told me his whole life story. He said, I'm very worried that they will take away my license.
Oh.
So he said, that's my independence. I said, but you have to look at the reason. Maybe this one incident is going to save you to be more independent in a different way. So I've had another patient, he was Asian. He would say to me, I was leaving and he said, you're coming back tonight? I said, yes, I'm back. He said, I'm so happy. You're the only person that really listened to me. And what he wanted to share is that his wife was alone at home.
Oh.
She was alone at home. And I said, don't worry, your children will look over her. You have to get well to go home. Another powerful one, I prepared a patient for an open heart surgery. And in the morning, about change of shift, she started crying. And I said, why are you crying? We had this conversation. I tell you to keep positive, to be positive, everything will be well. She said, I never told you, but my son is in prison. So I'm getting emotional. She wrote a letter which she wanted to get there. So I made a few calls and he was able to speak with her on the phone. So she felt a little better. So you meet all kinds of people from all walks of life with all issues that they're there. And all it takes is your presence and your compassion and your ability to listen.
Very true.
Offer a word of encouragement.
Very
So that's my driving force. And I enjoy that. I enjoy teaching patients to understand healthcare in this country. It's a business. So take care of yourself so you don't become a commodity for that business. The better you take care of yourself, the better position you're in.
True. How do you see the next generation of nurses? Are they as empathetic and compassionate and patient as you guys were?
They come in all shapes and forms. And everyone, the second career profession is the nursing is attracting a lot of those individuals, not so much for the right reason. You have to embrace them. You have the other end. Their expectations are different. I think many of them miss the compassion. Many of them miss the presence. Many of them miss their commitment to an organization and engagement, being involved and aligning your mission and vision with that of the org. It's more or less an entitlement. I'm here for this, this, and this. So a lot of that compassion. It's very hard to work alongside those individuals.
Yeah, because sometimes when we've had any experience of going through hospitals or for some treatment or the other, you feel that the new generation is probably a little cut and dry.
Yeah.
They don't have that warmth and that patience that the previous generation had. So you worry about professions such as nursing that require that human element and softness.
Yeah, you have to. They say you can teach that, but the rush to advance them to fit into the workforce, I think that element gets lost. Yeah,
I think that's what you were talking about in the last presentation. Also,
it gets lost. Like we had very compassionate teachers. They were able to instill some of that, and we had to get an interview in order to be selected. The interviewer has to feel that compassion and connection through the dialogue that you have in that interview. And I think a lot of that is missed today. And I always, every time they talk about retention, I stand up and say, you have to hire the right team member for the right team. We don't just bring anyone. It's rather you suffer, sure, and hire the right person. I met one nurse when I went to do my knee surgery, and she told me she had 7 interviews before she got that job.
Wow.
Making sure she was the right fit for the organization, for the team, and I think that's a good investment.
That's a good investment. Wow.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Any parting words? I can't believe it's been half an hour of talking. We didn't even feel it. It's over half an hour.
Well, I think nursing is a great profession. It's the best profession. You can do anything now in nursing. You could do anything. You can be a forensic nurse. You could be a informatics nurse. You could be a bedside nurse. You could be a scientist. You could be a leader. And if you have that passion for nursing, it's hard work from beginning to end. But if you can take care of yourself, you learn that early in the career, you will do phenomenally well.
Like you have. You've done very well, and you've been persistent and committed for so many decades of your life. That's been great.
I invest in myself.
You invested yourself.
I invest in myself. I've always been taught that, and I've taught that as a woman of color. Nobody will come to rescue you. You have to have your own rescue squad.
But I think that's also a message for any profession.
Any profession.
You have to invest yourself
You have
fully.
to invest in yourself.
The commitment has to be honest and organic and,
Yes.
and genuine. So, do you think we can, after this, we can pull up the rap and record that also and attach to it?
I don't know, I have to practice.
No. We can do it together. We'll try and give it a shot. If that works out, we shall post it right after this interview. But thank you, Mintie. Thank you for making the time driving over to do this with me today. This is very, very, very special for me that you showed up to see me. You came to me. It took you almost 2 hours to get here. And we were able to do this because I think this is one of my most invaluable conversations.
Thank you for having me and putting me to the challenge, as you always do.
And you allow me to. Thank you so much for that.
You always win me over. You know that?
I love that. Thank you for the trust and confidence in me. Thank you for tuning in to OATS Uncut. This is Vineeta Khanna signing off for now. We shall meet again with another episode. And stay tuned. I don't know if you're publishing that rap right now or not. Stay tuned. Don't close this window yet. Take care. Bye.
The alarm buzzes at 5:30 and I resist to hit the snooze. Mindful of the day ahead, I must get in the groove. Protein shake, banana, peanut butter, jelly on a bread. I must get going, so out the door I head. Caffeine, a must to tackle the shift ahead. I grab my stethoscope, other essentials I need, and to the unit I proceed. The night shift scrambles and pay me no heed. The sound of beeping IVs, bed alarms, monitors, and call bells. Is this a preamble of how my day would be? I could feel it in my veins as she gave me report, an 87-year-old male, confused, incontinent, impulsive, and pale. Before anything else, he must be clean, but there are other patients to be seen. Then from IVs to charts to passing meds, post-op care, who is not going is coming and must be helped. Discharges, admissions from the ED are a must. From pain to nausea to taking one from PACU. Families, phones, doctors, nurses, constant interruption. It's 5 p.m. Well, I have time to eat. I still have a lot to do. No time to eat, no rest for aching feet. It's 7:30 and I have been on these feet for 12 hours without a break. At least the Fitbit is happy. It's got 8,000 steps straight. Hour 13, I picked up and leave with grumbling stomach and aching feet. Could I do anything else in life? Less stressful maybe, but having served my patients well does gratify me.
That was outstanding. So we just rap also.
I need some classes in rapping now.
Me too. But hey, for amateurs, we did pretty well.
Yeah, we did well, you think? Okay.
Awesome.
Take it.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for staying tuned to OATS Uncut.